Okay. So the first question was the period from birth to the natural death of an organism. It represents. So what does it represent? Is it somatic phase, reproductive phase, vegetative phase, or lifespan? See, the period from birth to death, natural death of an organism represents the lifespan. That is the definition of lifespan. So fourth option is the correct answer here. So lifespan is the answer. Which one of the following has natural death? Is it amoeba, earthworm, planaria, or bacteria? So which one of them has natural death? See, earthworm has a natural death. See, amoeba, planaria, bacteria, so they are almost like immortal because they multiply, they undergo cell division to divide into two organisms. So, death, natural death, you cannot see it in unicellular organism because they are unicellular and they undergo cell division. Whereas in earthworm, you can see the natural death of earthworm. Okay, so this is an interesting question. So this sort of questions also you can expect. So match the following: the organism and its lifespan. Okay, so you have to match it correctly. So the third question, so parrot, so unusual it is that parrot can outlive human beings. Okay, parrot is 140 years. Okay, crocodile is 60 years. Horse can live around uh, 40 to 50 years. Horse can live around 40 to 50 years. Tortoise, so they have a lifespan of 100 to 150 years. So tortoise. So crow can live around 15 years. So these are the lifespans of various animals. So parrot, it was surprising for me that they can live for 140 years. Okay. So morphologically and genetically similar individuals are, what do we uh, so and genetically similar individuals are clones. So the answer is clone. Fourth one, the answer is clone. Morphologically and genetically similar individuals are clones. Okay. Fifth one, amoeba reproduces asexually by binary fission, multiple fission, cell division, all of these. So all of this is the right answer. So amoeba divides by binary fission, multiple fission, and all of this is the right answer. So binary fission is a method reproduction in protists, monarans, amoeba, all the above. So all the above is the answer. So binary fission is a method reproduction in all of these organisms. Okay. Hydra, sponge, and yeast, they can reproduce by. So how can they reproduce? The hydra, sponge, and yeast. So they can reproduce by budding, fission, fragmentation, or gemule formation. See, the budding is the answer for the seventh one. So hydra can reproduce by budding. Okay. In plants, the units of vegetative propagation are runner, rhizome, sucker, and tuber, all of the above. So the vegetative reproduction, runner is also vegetative reproduction, rhizome, sucker, and tuber, all the above is the answer for the eighth one. Eighth one, all the above. Ninth one, match the following. Okay, buds. So in which of them do you find rhizomes? You can find it in case of ginger and banana. Bulbil. So bulbils, you find it in case of agave. Then you have this offset. So rhizomes B is one. So almost three options are there. Bulbils second one. Okay. So C is two. Only one option is there. So B, A is five, but you can see it in the eye of the potato. Okay. So A5, B1, C2, bulbil is found in case of agave. Offset, it is seen in water as in D3. E4, bulb is onion and garlic. So B is the correct option. Okay. So the B is the correct option for this. Uh, Match the following with buds, rhizome, and so buds, potato, rhizomes, banana and ginger, bulbil in case of agave, offset is seen in case of water hyacinth, bulb is noticed in case of onion and garlic. So the B is the right answer for this. Okay. 10th question, the period of growth. So the period of growth to reach in maturity for sexual reproduction, the period of growth to reach in maturity for sexual reproduction is it called as juvenile phase, reproductive phase, senescent phase? None of these. Okay. So the period of growth to reach in maturity for sexual reproduction is called as juvenile phase. So they have not attained the sexual reproduction, they are in the process of attaining it. So we call it as juvenile phase. Okay. In higher plants, hence of vegetative phase is indicated by the end of the phase. 1 minute, students. There was a disconnection. I hope you're all able to see this. Okay. So I was just discussing about what are the events prior to sexual reproduction. So what are the events that are taking place? So the 16th one, so all of these is the answer. So there is gametogenesis, formation of gamete, and there is also transfer of gamete. Spermatogenesis, formation of sperm. Oogenesis, formation of ovum. This is gamete formation. So gametogenesis and pollination, all of the above is the correct answer for this. So the pre-fertilization events includes all of these. So all the above is the correct answer. Okay. Then the next one, which of the following hormone organism has homogametes? Homogametes means they have same type of gametes. Okay, is it fucus, cladophora, Ferretima, Periplaneta? So which of the following organisms has homogametes? Okay, so Cladophora has same type of gametes. Cladophora is an example for homogametes or isogametes. It is given in the NCERT book. Okay, so Cladophora is the answer. So B. Which of the following statements is wrong? ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳು ತಪ್ಪು? ಮೂರು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸರಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So we have to find that wrong statement. If male and female reproductive structures present in same individual, it is called bisexual. So if male and female reproductive structures are present in the same individual, it is called bisexual. Okay. Hibiscus, pisum are bisexual plants. Okay. If male and female flowers are present on same plant, it is called dioecious. So this statement is wrong. If male and female flowers are present on same plant, it is called monoecious. Okay. So dioecious is they are present, male and female flowers are present on separate plants. So that is what is dioecious. So third statement is wrong. Earthworm, leech, sponge, tapeworm, etc. are hermaphrodites. That is a correct statement. So ಮೂರನೇ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಪ್ಪಾದಂತ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಡೈಯಿಷಿಯಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಗಿಡ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದೇ ಗಿಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದೇ ಗಿಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮೊನಿಷಿಯಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಸಿ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ. If male and female reproductive structures are present on different individuals, if male and female reproductive structures are present on different individuals, it is called bisexual, monoecious, unisexual, hermaphrodite. So if they are present on, the dioecious term would have been appropriate here, but they have not given that term. So the most appropriate term would be unisexual. So 19th one, the answer is C. Fungi may be homothallic, heterothallic, bisexual, all the above. So what is the type of fungi that you find? So it is all the above. We can notice homothallic, heterothallic, bisexual. So all the three varieties we can notice in case of fungi. So D is the answer. Sorry, all the above is the answer for 20th. Match the following. You have to find the organism and their chromosome number. So housefly, I think it is around so let us check the, you should be thorough with this options also. Very rarely they ask it, but it is from NCERT. You should be prepared for this question too. Okay. So 21st, the answer would be A is 5, 12. So housefly has 12 chromosomes. I remember this Ega, Musca domestica, 12 chromosomes are they deployed. Rat. So in this options, only one has A5. So rat is 42 chromosomes, just short of human beings who have 46 chromosomes. Rat has 42 chromosomes. So dog has 78 chromosomes. Okay. Cat has, so dog has 78 chromosomes. Cat has 38 chromosomes. Fruit fly is 8. So I'm very sure about fruit fly being 8. So the third option, A5, B1, C2, D3, E4 is correct. Housefly, the number of chromosomes is, diploid number is 12. Rat is 42. Dog is 78. Cat has lesser, that is 38. Fruit fly is 12. Okay. So these are the answers for this chromosome number. 21st question, C is the right answer. Okay. So 22nd, chromosome numbers of apple, rice, maize, potato, and onion respectively are. See this questions. So one they asked it was fully with case of the animals. Now they have asked for plants. So the chromosome number of apple, rice, maize, potato, and onion respectively are. So the 22nd question, see the apple chromosome number is 34, rice is 24, maize is 20, potato 48, onion is 16. So I always remember onion because for mitosis and meiosis we study. So I remember this meiosis and mitosis. They have mitosis, they have 16 chromosomes. In meiosis they have 8 chromosomes. Potato, remember it just above human beings, it is having 48 chromosomes. So that way rat had 42 chromosomes. In fortis you have to remember one or two answers. If you remember, I think you can find out all the others correctly. Okay, apple is 34 chromosomes, rice is 24 chromosomes, maize is 20, potato is 48. Human beings have 46, but potato has 48 chromosomes, and onion is 16 chromosomes. So the first option is correct. 22nd, first option is correct. Which organism has the highest chromosome number? Ophioglossum. I think it has around 1600. So 23rd, C is the answer. So 23rd, C is the answer, Ophioglossum. Okay. 24th, which of the following set of organisms have haploid parental body? Okay. So organisms having haploid parental body, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and protists, they have diploid set of chromosomes. Many monarans, fungi, algae, and bryophytes, majority of them. Okay, so this B is the correct answer. They are having haploid parental body. So the gametophytic plant body is haploid. In bryophytes, gametophyte is dominant plant body. Sporophytes are recessive stage, isn't it? So gametophytes are haploid plant body. Monarans, so you can't count the number of chromosomes there. They are all haploid. Fungi is also haploid and become diploid only in dikaryon phase. Algae, so majority of these organisms have haploid parental body, that is monarans, fungi, algae, and bryophytes. So B is the answer for 24th question. Okay. So 25th, which statement is false? Male gametes need a medium to move towards female gametes for fertilization. This statement is correct. Okay, nothing wrong with that because water medium is required. In some fungi and algae, both types of gametes are fungi, are motile. Fine. In most organisms, male gamete is stationary and the female gamete is motile. This is wrong. In most of the organisms, in almost all the organisms, male gametes are uh, motile and female gametes are non-motile, especially in oogamous type. You notice that male gametes are motile and female gametes are uh, the non-motile. Okay, so C is the correct answer. Even in case of bryophytes, male gametes are motile. The female gamete, that is the egg cell, is non-motile. They are within the archegonium. So in most of the organisms, male gamete is stationary and the female gamete is motile, is a false statement. Okay, rather male gamete is motile and female gamete is stationary. That should have been the correct statement. So C statement is wrong in 25th. 26th question, in rotifers, okay, in rotifers, honeybees, some lizards, birds such as turkey, etc., female gamete develops to new organisms without fertilization. So they were developed to form new organisms. So female gametes develops to form new organisms without fertilization. This is called spermatogenesis, parthenogenesis, neoteny, or oogenesis. This is called as parthenogenesis. So 26th B is the answer. 27th, regarding the external fertilization, pick out the false statement from the following. Syngamy occurs in the water, external fertilization. Syngamy occurs in the water, that is, zygote is formed outside the body. So, this is a correct statement. Such organisms show synchrony between the sexes and release large number of gametes into the surrounding medium to ensure syngamy. B is also correct. Third one, only few aquatic organisms show external fertilization. So, this C statement is wrong. Majority of aquatic organism they show external fertilization. Only few is wrong. Majority of the aquatic organisms they exhibit external fertilization because water is a necessity for external fertilization. So C statement is false statement. The offsprings are extremely vulnerable to predators, threatening their survival up to adulthood. This statement is correct in case of external fertilization. So C is the wrong statement. Regarding the size of fertilization, find out the odd one. So the site of fertilization, which place they occur, the site of fertilization, we have to find out the odd one. See, reptiles, birds, and mammals, they are terrestrial. Site of fertilization is on land. Okay, bryophytes and pteridophytes, they require water medium for transferring the gametes. Gymnosperms and angiosperms, they are going to be uh, type of fertilization. If you take it up, external or internal site of fertilization where they are taking place. Gymnosperms and angiosperms, they are terrestrial. Okay, Osteichthyes and amphibian. Osteichthyes is the bonifacious. Bonifacious undergo internal fertilization. Amphibians undergo external fertilization. So this D option is the odd option, whereas all of them undergo either external or internal fertilization. Reptiles, birds, and mammals, it is internal fertilization. Bryophytes and pteridophytes, internal fertilization. Gymnosperms and angiosperms, internal fertilization. Osteichthyes is internal fertilization. Amphibians is external fertilization. This is the odd one out. So D is the odd one out. In seed plants, the non-motile gametes. So this is the 29th question. In seed plants, the non-motile male gametes are carried to female gamete by pollen tubes. Okay, the motile male gametes are carried to female gamete by pollen tubes. The non-motile female gametes are carried to male gamete by pollen tubes. Okay, the motile female gametes are carried to male gamete by pollen tubes. So by reading this itself, what you can understand is three statements are wrong and one statement is correct. So they have not told you to identify false or correct statement, but reading this itself, four statements, the correct statement is A. The non-motile male gametes are carried to female gamete by pollen tubes. So A is the correct option in case of seeded plants. Okay. So seeded plants, A is the correct option. So 30th, in organisms with haplontic life cycle, okay, the zygote divides by mitosis. Zygote divides by mitosis into diploid spores that grow into diploid individuals. Zygote divides by meiosis into haploid spores that grow into haploid individuals. So B is the correct statement. Again, it is the same type here. Three statements are wrong and one statement is correct. B is the correct statement. A is the wrong statement. C, zygote divides by meiosis into haploid spores that grow into diploid individuals. This is also wrong. Haploid spores that grow into haploid individuals is correct. C is wrong, A is wrong. D, zygote divides by mitosis into diploid spores that grow into haploid individuals. This is also wrong. Okay, so zygote divides by meiosis into haploid spores that grow into haploid individuals. This is the correct statement. So 30th, B is the correct statement. Okay, so remember about this 30th question. So next one, pick out the false statement, 31st. So sexually reproducing organisms begin life as a zygote. Zygote is a vital link between organisms of one generation and the next. During embryogenesis, zygote undergoes meiosis and cell differentiation. Zygote is a totipotent cell. So the false statement is C. During embryogenesis, zygote undergoes meiosis and cell differentiation is wrong. It undergoes mitosis. So the 31st, third statement is wrong. C statement is wrong. 32nd, during embryogenesis, the modification of groups of cells into various tissues and organs are caused by, say, during embryogenesis, the modification of groups of cells into various tissues and organs are caused by, is it mitosis or is it meiosis, cleavage, cell differentiation? So various tissues and organs are caused by cell differentiation. So 32nd, the answer is D. 33rd, oviparity means, so is it giving birth to young ones, laying fertilized egg, laying unfertilized egg, both B and C? What is oviparity? Viviparity is giving birth to young ones. So laying fertilized or unfertilized eggs, we call it as oviparity. So D is the answer for this 33rd. It is both B and C. 34th question, which of the following is more advanced for proper care and protection of embryo? Is it viviparity, oviparity, ovoviviparity, or marsupium? So it is viviparity is the right answer. Which of the following is more advanced for proper care and protection of embryo? A is the correct answer. So 34th A is the correct answer. 35th, a typical stamen and three-dimensional cut section of an anther is given. So label the parts. So what are the parts of this? See, one is anther, two is pollen sac, three is pollen grains, or is it fourth line of dehiscence? Fifth one is filament. Fifth one, filament is correct. So it has to be either one or two. Okay. So the correct answer for 35th is, first one is anther, second one, so they are talking about pollen grains. Second one is pollen grains. Okay. Third one, so since they are showing two of this, so third one is pollen sac. Two of them they are showing. Second one is pollen grain. Third one is pollen sac. So B is the correct option. So you should remember the B option is correct option. So line of fourth one is line of dehiscence. Fifth one is filament. So B is the correct answer for 35th question. 36, typically angiosperm anthers, single-lobed and monothecous, single-lobed and dithecous, bilobed and dithecous. C is the correct answer. A typical angiosperm anther is bilobed and dithecous. So C is the correct answer for 36th one. 37th, correct sequence of layers of anther from outer to the inner. So epidermis, endothelium, middle layers and tapetum. C is the correct sequence. Epidermis, endothelium, middle layers and tapetum. So C is the correct option for 37th. 38th, select the true statement regarding tapetum. It is the innermost wall layer, it is correct. It is a nourishing tissue, it is correct. Cells possess dense cytoplasm, it is correct. Cells are generally having more than one nucleus, that is also correct. Cells are wedge shaped, that is also correct. All are correct. So 38th, all the five statements are correct. Okay. So D is the option. 39th, microsporogenesis means so formation of microspores from polar mother cell through mitosis, formation of microspores from primary endosperm cell through meiosis, that is also wrong. First two are wrong. Formation of microspores from pollen mother cell through meiosis. So the C statement is correct. So 39th C statement is correct. Okay. So third statement, formation of microspores from pollen mother cell through meiosis, that is what is the definition of microsporogenesis. 40th, male gametophyte in angiosperm starts with microspore mother cell, pollen grain, gamete, microspore tetrad. So the 40th answer is it starts with pollen grain. So male gametophytes in angiosperms starts with pollen grain. Okay. 41st, enlarged view of one microsporangium with wall layers are shown. Identify the layers. So this is a diagram oriented question. See, first one is epidermis, second one is endothelium, third one is two layers of middle layers, fourth one is the sporogenous tissue, fifth one is tapetum or the megaspore mother cell, fourth one. You can also label it as megaspore mother cell. So let us see the correct option. Epidermis, endothelium, middle layers. So in first two, three of them, they are correct. Fourth one is megaspore mother cell. Fifth one is tapetum. So B is the correct answer for 41st. B is the correct answer. Okay. 42nd, regarding pollen grains, male gametophyte, generally bilobed in shape, pollen grains, they are not bilobed. Size may be 25 to 50 micrometer in diameter. Its outer covering is made of pectin. This is wrong. It is made up of sporopollenin. So exine has germ pores where sporopollenin is absent. So generally bilobed in shape is wrong. So second and fourth statement are correct. Okay, for fourth, second and fourth statement are correct. So A is the correct answer for 42nd. So 42nd question, A is the correct answer. 43rd, structure of mature embryo sac is given below. Label the parts. So this is the chalazal end. So chalazal end A will be antipodal cells. B is polar nuclei. C is central cell. So just look into that. A is antipodals, B is polar nuclei, C is central cell. D is Excel, E is synergids, F is filiform apparatus. So B has this correct option. A is antipodals, B is polar nuclei, C is central cell, D is egg, E is synergids, F is filiform apparatus. So this is the correct labeling is in case of B. So 43rd B is the correct labeling that you can see. 44th, odd one out based on number of ovules or megasporangia present. So which one is the odd one out based on the number of ovules or megasporangia present? See, wheat is one. Mango is also there is going to be only one ovule. So paddy is also going to be one. Papaya has large number of ovules. So they have large number of seeds, isn't it? So 44th papaya is the odd one out. So 44th C is the answer. 45th, a typical angiosperm embryo sac at maturity has 7-celled 7 nucleate, 8-celled 8 nucleate, 7-celled 8 nucleate, 8-celled 7 nucleate. So the C is the correct answer. 7-celled 8 nucleate. So 45th C is the correct answer. Okay. Next one is the megaspore mother cell undergoes. So what do they undergo? The megaspore mother cell mitosis to produce 4 megaspores, meiosis to produce 2 megaspores. So meiosis to produce 4 megaspores is the correct one. Of this 4 megaspores, 3 are non-functional and 1 is functional. So 46D is the correct answer. So megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis to produce 4 megaspores. Okay. Next one, in majority of flowering plants, one megaspore is functional while the other three degenerate. Two megaspores are functional while the other two degenerates. Three megaspores are functional while the one degenerates. All megaspores are functional. So 47th A is the correct answer. One megaspore is functional while the other three degenerate. So 47th A is the answer. 48th, select the false statement regarding cleistogamous flowers. They do not open at all, and anthers and stigma lie close to each other. So cleistogamous flower, chasmogamous is, uh, so anthers and stigma, it almost applies here. So it is a correct statement, first one. When anthers dehisce in the flower buds, pollen grains meet stigma for pollination. This is also correct. Cleistogamous flowers, they never bloom. Cleistogamous flowers produce assured seed set even in the absence of pollinators. This statement is also correct. Cleistogamy can prevent inbreeding depression. This is wrong. Cleistogamy rather leads to inbreeding depression. D is the false statement. So for 48th, D is the false statement. 49th, which of the following sets of plants can produce both chasmogamous and cleistogamous flower? See, you have studied about Viola, Oxalis, and Commelina. All these three can produce both chasmogamous and cleistogamous flower. 49th B is the answer. Viola, Oxalis, and Commelina, they can produce both chasmogamous and cleistogamous flowers. So 49th B is the answer. 50th, transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant. From anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant is called geitonogamy. So 50th C is the answer. So geitonogamy. 51st, more common abiotic pollination is anemophily. Wind pollination is more common than hydrophily. Abiotic, there is only anemophily and hydrophily. Hydrophily in only 30 species you notice. Anemophily, the wind pollinated in almost all the grasses, you notice this. So more common abiotic pollination is in anemophily. A is the answer. In water hyacinth and water lily, pollination takes place by, so in water hyacinth and water lily, pollination takes place by entomophily. Okay, so water hyacinth and water lily, it is by entomophily and anemophily. Okay, they are above the water. So entomophily and anemophily. 52nd, B is the answer. 53rd, the need to produce enormous amount of pollen when compared to number of ovule available for pollination. So why is there a need to produce enormous amount of pollen when compared to number of ovule available for pollination? Is it to protect young pollens, to attract insect, To compensate for the uncertainties and loss of pollen grain, C is the correct answer. To compensate for the uncertainties and loss of pollen grain, they produce enormous amount of pollen. So 53rd, C is the correct option. 54th, pollination by water or hydrophily is limited to about 30 genera, mostly monocotyledonous. First option is correct. About 30 genera, mostly monocotyledonous is the right answer. Okay, about 30 genera, mostly monocotyledonous. Most common type of agents of pollination are, which is the most common type of agents of pollination are insects and is called ornithophily, birds and is called ornithophily, birds and is called entomophily, insects and is called entomophily. So most common type of agents of pollination are insects and it is called entomophily. 55th D answer is the correct statement. So 55th D is the correct answer. Pollen tube enters the ovule through the micropyle and then enters one of the synergids through filiform apparatus. So 56C is the answer. Okay, so through filiform apparatus, the pollen tube enters. So 56th C is the answer, that is filiform apparatus. So labeling of it, longitudinal section of flower. So A is pollen tube. Okay, so B is the antipodals. C is the polar nuclei. So you have to look it into that. A is pollen tube, B is antipodal, C is polar nuclei, D is excel, E is synergids. B option is correct in the labeling. Okay, this is a diagram oriented question. So labeling: A pollen tube, B antipodal, C is polar nuclei, D is excel, E is synergid. So B is the correct answer for 57th question. So 57th, B is the correct option. 58th, which of the following is not the feature of insect pollinated flowers? Large, colorful, fragrant, and rich in nectar. Okay. Small flowers form inflorescence to make them visible. So both are correct. Then insect pollinated flowers. The flowers pollinated by flies and beetles secrete foul odor to attract these. That is also correct. The pollen grains are sticky, but here they are given it as non-sticky. So D is the wrong statement. So this is not the feature of uh, the insect pollinated flower. Rather, it is wind pollinated flowers. Okay, pollen grains are flowers. Non-sticky is a wrong answer. So D is the incorrect statement. So it is not the feature of insect pollinated flower. 59, the correct sequence of embryonic development in angiosperms is, so they are going to form zygote, proembryo, globular, heart-shaped, and mature embryo. The first sequence itself is correct. Zygote, proembryo, globular, heart-shaped, and mature embryo. So these are the correct sequence for this embryonic development. Okay, A is correct.